insane ramblings of some weird fucking dog thing. Someone's streaming early. No, this is normal. This is actually supposed to be when it starts, but my dumbass is stupid.
What the dog doing?
Making posts so people know that we're live. There. Now I gotta go to cafe. Right, different folder. Nope, different folder still. Nope, that's... Here we go. That's up. Twitter and X post. Oh yeah, we're ready for it. Back. Do a ski pose. Let me make sure I didn't just accidentally add some random person. Okay. Okay. That's all up. Stretch! Oh my god. It's playing in the background, spinning off into the universe. What, the music in the background? Is that playing? That is playing. Perfect. It's a very nice song. I do like this song. I know I clicked start stream, but I might have to run to the bathroom for a moment. Ah, that's why it says move too. Cool. Fucking close that window. There we go. Alright. So I'm actually gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Give me one moment. Yeah. Hi, I'm not AFK anymore. Space is terrifying because there is no true up and down. It's truest form of 3D. Space print going back to the moon on 2026 is about fucking time. Jesus. I think I got all of the setup I need to do then. Apparently it's supposed to be semi-permanent too. So we're establishing a moon base finally. Are we finally gonna have a sick-ass moon base? Hell yeah. I am a supporter of Moonbase. As long as shit works out. Well, just don't explode the rocket and it'll be fine. That's all you gotta do. Sorry, I'm being ADHD for a moment. Making exploration pods look from magma tunnels to build in and suit fit for extended exposure from dead magma tunnels. I didn't think there were. I guess there would be magma tunnels in there. What if we find out there's life on the moon? What if they go in there and they dig into the moon and then suddenly it's just like, oh, there's fucking things that are alive in this place. It makes sense that there would be magma tunnels on the moon. Like, you think about it for a moment, it's like, yeah, that... Because the moon has to have, like, a molten core, too, right? It's not just a solid rock, there's gotta be, like, some kind of core. Just be fucking spiders. Oh, I would cry. I would cry if there was a fucking... If the moon was inhabited by only spiders. And now we have to deal with fucking moon spiders. God damn. Yeah, no, I would be so pissed if they sent a fucking mission to the moon and they come back and are just like, it's just spiders. Oh, that's the wrong tab. That's still the wrong tab. There we go. It really depends on how exposed it is, because if it's not exposed, then there's a good chance that there is, magma on the moon. It just really depends. Start, I'm early. Okay, Tigress. Tigress actually was early. Me and her sat there for like an hour in a call. So, Tigress was here before any of you. Come on, chat, give it the program. Alright. Yayla, we got Tigress, we got Shade. I think that's good enough group to ramble to for now. I'm gonna tap into the intermission. Hello. Hi. I'm here. I'm live. Hi. How are you? My Rockstar is empty. I might have to go grab another one in a second. Ah, fuck. This may be a double stream. We'll see. This may be a double stream day because we might after a break, we might come back and play WoW of Warcraft. Imagine fucking colonizing the goddamn moon the next 10 years. You know, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. This shit's happening. I didn't even know we were going back to the moon. We always start in such interesting ways. Like right now, we're starting with a conversation about going to the fucking moon. Wow. No, World of Warcraft. So on the 22nd, next week, today, um, on the 22nd, they're doing the 20th anniversary, and you need some spreadsheets and graphs. Oh my god. Oh my god. I could totally, for these streams, I could totally bring up like Excel or some shit and just have like a whole chart of just like, here's everything. My face with stealing the McFucking moon. Anyways, next week on the 22nd, WoW is doing a 20th anniversary, and I want to get us to level 80. We don't have to finish the story to do it, but I want to get us to level 80 so we have access to that content. Um, that way we can hop on Voria on some days. And, we can have some days where we stream The War Within. Some day, Jesus Christ, that game is old. Yes, it is. 20 years old. And that's just considering World of Warcraft and not fucking Warcraft in general. Because Warcraft is even older. Who just texted me? Oh, it's Bean. But yeah, I fucking lost my train of thought. Anyways, right, yeah, it's running until January, so that way, we can have some streams where we hop on WoW and we could do the 20th anniversary. We'll have some days where we can hop on and we can do some other shit. Just some things to do with Voria. Have fun. I don't think we'll start a new stream character at some point because they're also introducing Drakthir, like new classes for the Drakthir. They're going to be able to be like warriors, mages, priests, warlocks, hunters, and rogues. 3 years to build a moon base for the Zero Escape timeline to happen on schedule. Nice. I'm scared of space. I'm scared of a lot of things. I have a lot of phobias. I'm a very naturally scared person. Anyways. This isn't the space stream. We're not doing space this stream. If we're playing Kerbal Space Program, this would be the space stream. But no, this is not the space stream. This is the lore stream. Where you come for your newest hot off the press Harmony lore. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so fuck you, I'm making it a space stream. Okay, on topic. I'm actually passively working on a space story, so that might show up in these little streams at some point. We'll see. But I am actually working on a space themed story. I don't have any. I have one character for it. I have a single character for it. I have an idea and one character who's not even gonna be them. Okay, two characters, but they're not even gonna be the main character to my knowledge. But yeah, so bit of a thing to start. Talking with Bean the other day. When was this? This was, I think, the WoW stream we did. Yeah, I think it was the day of the WoW stream. So we have a rough schedule of how we're gonna do things now. So streams are gonna be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you should water the brick. Too lazy to redeem. Well, I can't do anything. I'm sorry. It wasn't redeemed, so I can't do anything. As I was saying, we have a rough schedule on how we're going to do things now. Um, Basically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are going to be all of our stream days. Tuesday, for the time being, until I finish with my brain dump, is going to be dedicated to pretty much all the lore shit. It's just going to be me rambling to the camera for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and just getting my brain out there so people know what's going on in my head. Wednesday is going to be Warframe. We're going to do Warframe on Wednesdays. Uh, tomorrow
Oh,
is tomorrow is going to have fuck the 1999 demo coming out. Rambling for a year. It's going to be long. It's going to be a long time. Which is not a problem. I do like that. I do like how we have a lot to go over for these. And more in the works. Like I just started on Mask. Like I started coming up with plot for Mask, which that's gonna be exciting once I finally figure things out and how I want to do it. Uh, but yeah, Wednesday is gonna be Warframe. Tomorrow specifically is gonna be the 1999 demo, so we'll have that stream. And then as far as other streams go, we'll just have general Warframe things we can do. Um, might be a random chance that that day can get swapped to other game. Pretty much all these streams can be swapped to another game if like there's nothing to do. Which isn't a big deal. Like we can just like if nothing's going on in Warframe or none of us have the energy to play Warframe, we all have Splatoon, so we just boot up Splatoon or boot up some other game. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, Warframe's gonna be Wednesdays. Then Thursday, if the wild hare enters the ring, I don't know what that means. Um, Thursday is gonna be Warcraft. There's a lot to do in that game, so it is a game that we could just kind of throw on, run around farming things endlessly. Uh, and since it's a weekly thing too, we can always have like, we have some weeks where we can do a raid. We have some weeks where we can do some other things. Um, does end stream Alt F4 stream, or do you have to manually kill stream? I have to kill stream. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the schedule that we've got. Again, it's a loose schedule. I'm not setting a specific time frame of when things start, just kind of like, hey, these are the things we're going to be doing this day. It might start later, it might start earlier, we'll see. For example, this is an example of an early start. Nah. Um, but yeah, for this stream, have I? Oh, I haven't had my medication yet. Hang on, let me take my medication. We'll ramble for a minute while I take medication. I know I didn't take my medication because the water bottle that I grabbed specifically for that reason was unopened. And now I need the estrogen. Ow. Can I see if no. It injects the good stuff directly into your eye. Threats. We've only been here for 20 minutes and oh my god, I needed that apparently. Oh my god. Wow, alright. Apparently needed his threats. Oh god, I'm so excited to sit here and ramble for about 4 hours about just ramble or sit. I could do a recap with medicine in my mouth. Who wants an estrogen filled recap? Fuss kick. Because I could just quickly recap the last stream so people are caught up. It's actually sinking down a lot faster than normal. Oh yeah, it's actually. Why are you crunching? I don't crunch it. Oh my god, can you just like dissolve, please? Thank you. For our recap of last week's recap. I went back and I rewatched that VOD, and it's dangerous if I do a recap because I might just retell everything. Um, Tic Tac. You know, it is about the size of Tic Tac, which is funny. Anyways, it's dangerous if I try and do a recap because I went back and rewatched the VOD, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a quick uh, we're gonna do a quick overview of what Akumu is, like that story." I was like, "We're just gonna make this a brief thing," and that not only did that take up more time than I meant to, I went over the entire fucking story that I have so far. I intended to leave things out. Ah, ah, ah! It's on my tongue. I intend to leave things out. Like I meant to have content saved up for the next time we got a chance to talk about, Akumu. But okay, now it's gone. Um, I intended to like have things for the next time, but I went over the entire fucking story. I left out nothing. So it's dangerous if I do a recap. Um. So yeah. I would say probably if you haven't seen last stream or not last stream, if you haven't seen the last part in this, I would recommend going to watch that. You can watch that now. You can watch that after. It's not a big deal. Um, it's not at least it's not a huge problem. Danger zone warning comes up on screen. Anyways, so yeah, the last time we were doing this, I mean, it's not drugs. It's absolutely not drugs. It's kind of sweet, funny enough. Oh, the Despero. I'm not a fan of the taste of the Despero. The Despero's kind of nasty tasting. But the estrogen's like it's got a nice sweetness to it. Kind of is drugs though. It's kind of not drugs though. It's medicinal. Spearow is nasty even with coated. Spearow is nasty. I'm not a fan of it. I'm taking it anyways because I need to. But I'm not a fan of Spearow. Anyways, we've been sitting here for almost 25 minutes. So, are you guys ready for today's brain dump? Because we got a doozy. Apparently not. Well, it's very lightly sweetened and has a slight hint of McDonald's napkin. Two brain chemicals, and wouldn't that be every chemical? No. I'm gonna take us off the topic of drugs so that we can actually have a focused stream, please. Oh my god, people are starting to show up. Oh, we have 5 viewers here for my brain dump. Oh god, there's more people here than the last stream. I'm gonna reject that blep so I can have a proper conversation. In pharmacology, a drug is a chemical substance typically which when produces a biological effect. Bean! Hello, Bean. I'm gonna take myself out back so you can focus. Goodbye. Uh, fuck. What was I saying? I'm gonna start us because I feel like if I ask if you guys are ready, we're gonna start rambling about something completely unrelated, and I got specific rambles to do. Uh, so yeah, if you weren't here last stream, I would recommend going to watch that. Uh, if not, you can easily ask me things. I am sitting in the community streaming, SPHboy Discord if you want to get trapped into Just Wings. I am sitting in the community streaming, so if you have questions, you can hop in and chime in with your questions, and then I can ban you from Discord. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You could just hop in and ask the question, and I'll answer it. All I ask is like people don't show up and just sit there and linger, or they can show up and mute, but just like not be vocal. Nice. um, but yeah, you can ask in chat, you can ask in person, up to you guys. But yeah, last stream we started on Project Beats, which I've decided I'm going to shrink down just a bit. Just gonna leave that in the corner up there. Charity stream. We're gonna hide the charity stream for this one. I'll bring it back for the next stream. Just for this one, I'm going to hide it. Or just for these streams in general. Just because there's a lot of assets that end up on stream, so to help minimize assets, I'm gonna hide it. There it is. Boop. There. And we can have that in the top corner so people know what the fuck I'm rambling about. And yeah. So, quick recap, right? Where is my pointer? Unhide the pointer, which decided it wanted to fucking break. Oh no. Wait, I thought I exported it. Hang on. Hang on. My pointer's broken. There we go. Done. There you go. Pointer. And then I need my model. I'm going to go over here. All right. So, when we last left off, there we go. Okay. All right. I am now prepared. So, when we last left off, basically, where's the fucking, there it is, Maria. Okay. Maria's over there. Hi, Maria. Okay, so, Akumu heard about a thing that was over here, so she started going over here. And then Lucinda caught word that Akumu was going over here for the thing she's doing in there, and decided to head that way. Maria showed up as Spectra, fought Lucinda. Lucinda fought back. She ended up losing, but then they both realized who they were, and then they teamed up. And that's basically where that story ended. Again, if you want the full story behind all of this, last stream. This is going to be covering Act 2, maybe it's going to be covering Act 2, hopefully Act 3, and maybe Act 4. We will see. But we aren't going to do any more than Act 4. It just depends on time. But yeah. So, we're gonna be getting into territory where I don't have assets, so I'm sorry. I could probably just doodle up shitty stick figures for characters, but I don't have assets for some of these, so I am very sorry. I have assets for some of the main characters, but like Evelyn, I don't have an asset of. Sai, who you'll be introduced to in a moment, I don't have an asset of. I don't have an asset of Akumu, obviously, because I haven't been using an Akumu asset. I do have images of Akumu, but I just can't use them because A, one of them is not one I want to have lingering on screen, and the other one is not safe for work because it's her ref sheet and they're naked because I haven't gotten them updated. But yeah, so Act 2, I gotta hide Lucinda and Maria. Just add sensor bars. I could, but at the same time, I don't want to do that right now on stream. Oops, fuck. Moving Yami. Alright. So Act 2 takes place in this general region here. The main start of it is here, not in Tolden, but under Tolden. This is before they knew what Tolden was. Tolden did exist. It is still up in the sky. It's been in the sky the whole time. But in terms of Project Beats, this is not important. This is important to Cloudbreakers and Fall of Kuto, but not for Project Beats or any other story. What is important, though, is the crater that's left behind under Tolden. The other important part is this tree. I will touch on that tree here in a moment, but this tree is sitting in the middle of a clearing. There's this big opening section here with like a not a visible bubble, but there's like a bubble over it. It's very magical in this section. This is a very magic section. This tree is the essence of just me being like, I want magic in my stories, but I don't know how to make it work. So this is me getting magic to work in my stories, is having this little segmented bubble of like, here's all the magic. There's other magic dotted around in the rest of the world, but to our characters, they don't know what that is yet. They're going to find out in Act 2. So, we have lost 2 viewers. Okay. I'm trying to brain. I'm just trying to brain so I get, like, full memory. Full memory. Just trying to remember everything. So. God, how the fuck did this go? Okay. Okay. I may need more caffeine. I might not have enough caffeine in my system. That's empty. Excuse me while I just piece together things. It takes a minute for me to start these, because once I get going, I can get going. I guess I could do a little bit of characters. I could start with characters, just like, here's the cast for Act 2, if you guys want. Because that'll help me get my brain going. I'm just waiting for a response just from anyone. I might just start with characters though. Just to help me start braining things easier. Charactering. Okay. So, the general cast for Act 2, similar cast to Act 1. I don't think anyone's been cut out. I think everyone gets, I think people get added in for Act 2 and no one gets removed. Like not killed off, but just off doing their own thing. KC is still kind of important. Obviously, Lucinda and Cyan are super important. Akumu is important. Like, they're fucking... Akuma's the antagonist. Lucinda's protagonists. Like they're gonna be in every single part. They're gonna be the main focus of everything. And then Cyan is just Lucinda's partner in her head. So those three characters are gonna be always present. Um, I don't think Crimson gets introduced in this. I would have to go double check. I don't think Crimson gets introduced, so no, it's not her. You're gonna get introduced to Sai. So Sai is this tiny little coyote girl. I don't have an image of her I can use, I don't think. Hang on. Add source, news source. Sai. Browse. Do I have an image of Sai? Let's see. Where's my Sai folder? I know I have a folder for her, but I know I don't have art of her. Sai! I don't have an image of Sai. I would probably have to log into Second Life to grab screenshots, which I don't feel like doing. But yeah, Sai gets introduced. She is a tiny little coyote girl. She's a little bit of lizard in her. That's going to be important for other stories that I'm not going to touch on. But she is like a 90% coyote, 10% lizard. So, she is essentially she lives in this section here. I'll explain her a little more in a little bit, but she basically lives in this section here, and she deals with magic and shit. The other important part is we finally get introduced to Evelyn. We finally get some Evelyn mixed in with all of this. Evelyn serves as the antagonist for Act 2. Again, Akumu is still first and foremost the antagonist of Project Beats. But for Act 2, Evelyn steps in and is just like, I'm gonna cause my own mayhem for a bit. So she's gonna serve as the antagonist for Act 2. We also get introduced to Kamen Rider Melody, who I do not have an image of. That is purely because I don't have a finalized design for Melody. I know they transform using a wrist brace, but that's all I have. I do have, like, here's who they are, like, the story they go down. I just don't have any real, visuals for Melody. We have Akumu, we've got Sai, we have Melody, Evelyn. Again, Lucinda, Cyan, Yami, Casey, they are important to this story. They're going to be, like, permanently important. Again, they're the fucking Beats Quartet. Of course they're going to be important. Yeah, everything generally takes place in this section here. There might be a little bit of dip into this little like alcove. Not alcove, but like this little drop down section there. It might branch down just a little bit into there, but for the most part, it just takes place in this forest here. And yeah. Oh, also Maria and Geki. Maria, again, she gets cross mods. She steals cross mods from Lucinda. But after, finding out, who she is, Lucinda's basically like, yeah, I'll let you be cross mods. You can keep that. Just because, it's her fucking sister. But yeah, I think I can get started into it. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start where we left off, basically. Oh, Bean's here. I have to move you. Hang on. Hi, Bean.
Boogity boogity.
Hang on, I gotta move you. All right,
Middle of the map, I bet.
You're gonna become smaller, and you're gonna go on my tits.
God damn it.
There we go. All right. I actually am gonna make I'm gonna make myself a little smaller as well.
I'm here to be a lap or vap.
My what?
I'm here to be a lap vap.
A lap vap? I mean, you're a tit vap right now. Oh no, Bean stomping across cried. Clyde has been assaulted by a giant bean.
And then suddenly a giant bean appears. Rawr, fear me.
Oh my god, you showed up at like the perfect time too.
Oh,
Yeah.
join it.
Yeah, you joined in at the perfect time because I was just about to start rambling.
Oh no,
Are you ready, Bean?
no.
I know. So, it's the ramble stream, Bean. Cafe latte. I gotta stick like a key in my brain and just wind it up. Coffee with milk in it. What? Wait, what happened?
That's basically what creamer is.
Oh shit. What if I do this? Oh, okay. It doesn't flip. Damn. Bean your tits. Oh, bean in your tits.
Oh my god.
I thought that said bean your tits. That can easily be arranged though. Oh.
Hey. It can be arranged, turns into an Eevee.
Perfect, my little marshmallow V.
Oh.
There's no help for you. I'm gonna, hell yeah, so I can grab it by the hilt of the sword just to make it look like I'm sorting. Can I like pop out the projector and stream? Hang on, projector. Create stream output projector. All right. Now if I go into Discord and I stream that, does it work properly now? Oh, hell yeah. All right, cool. So now you can see what I'm doing. So you can go off of that instead of having to watch stream.
Perfect.
You can see the sword moving around.
Yeah.
My pointer. Okay, so Titvi. He's a Titvi on. So the sort of midpoint between Act 1 and Act 2. I'm just gonna start there. I already touched on it again with the ending of Act 1, but it carries over into Act 2, so we're just gonna start with that. So basically, what ends up happening is Akuma gets word that there's shit over here. She gets over, or she starts heading over to do some snooping around of her own to investigate into things. General evil, menacing things. Lucinda hears from, I think it's KC that tells her, because KC is a bit of a scout with all this. Lucinda basically hears that she's doing that, so she starts heading that way as well. She runs into Spectra. The two of them fight. Or she runs into Spectra and Geki. The two of them end up fighting. Spectra beats Lucinda and then reveals herself as Maria because she realizes that Lucinda is Lucinda. And the two of them are like, fuck, my sister's alive. That's awesome. So they have a small bonding moment of just trying to like come to, or not come to terms, but just come to the realization that they still have family. So they end up having that connection. So Lucinda basically gives Maria, where are they at? I need my girls back. We'll get my girls back. Okay. What is that? Okay. So Lucinda basically gives Maria a recap of what's been going on. She's basically like, yeah, this is what I've been doing for the past like 3-4 years, ever since, their home got attacked. So she gives that recap to her, and they sort of end up teaming up. Her, Maria, or Lucinda, Cyan, Maria, and Geki, they start branching out to track down Akumu. Akumu, in the meantime, is... Where's she at? I think she starts heading into this crater here, is what happens. I can probably double check that, but I think that's what's going on. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, I'm digging into my notes. Alright, that's Act 1 notes. That's Act 1 notes. I need Act 2 notes. Oh, God, wait. Oh, God, Crimson does get developed in Act 2. Holy fuck. Oh my God, that's awesome. I think that's Act 2 anyways. Wow, okay. Sorry. Rereading notes is wild. Okay, so that's Act... Sorry. People are leaving because I'm just sitting here trying to relearn my fucking... I'm trying to get it accurate is the thing. I don't want to start rambling about something then have it be completely wrong because I do have specific lore for all of this. And I just want to make sure I'm 100% right when I tell you guys things because I don't want to like look back and be like, "Hey, this was fucking wrong." Um I need to prepare more for these streams. I am really sorry. I don't know why I'm blanking on Act 2 though so much. I think it's because I don't talk about Act 2 as much as I talk about the other acts. Act 2 is just something that it ends up happening and is somehow the most important act of Project Beats that does not have any importance to it. Does that make sense, Bean?
Totally.
What if I search Evelyn? Is it gonna show up here? Probably not because... Oh yeah, it's definitely not gonna show up here. Aha! Ha 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 ha! Ooh hoo hoo. Never mind. Wait. Which act is this? Is this... Okay, so that is Act 4. That is without a doubt Act 4.
Whew. Excuse.
Evelyn has a tiny top hat. Ahem.
We're back.
Okay, I will be here, obviously, because I ain't fucking going anywhere. Oh god, that's right. Okay. Okay, I found it. I found it! Oh god. Oh, there is so much that happens. Oh, there is a lot that happens before. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no, I may or may not have fucked up already. Shit. Um. All right. Well, some spoilers that I fucked up on. Y'all weren't supposed to know that Maria was Spectress, so there you go. Okay. Act 2. All right. I did a stretch. Minor reset. Minor reset. But I have it down. I have shit down. We're good. We got this. We're gaming. Let's fucking go. Okay. So, I'm gonna put this off to the side like that. Uh, oh hell yeah, and I can have my notes there, and I can have this here. Excellent. And I can't read chat, so we're gonna open chat up on my phone. And I will be able to tell if someone messages because it'll pop up on the side over there. Twitch. Okay. So, give me volume. Okay. Act 2 time. So, Lucinda starts developing the modification system. She is basically designing a new system that she wants to have as customizable because the beat system isn't very customizable. It has its one thing that it does, but it doesn't really do much else. It has, at this point in time, it has three important forms, three major forms. It has base beats, which is the one that you know of. It's the one that's up here. It's the blue and black one. It's the obvious one. It's the one that's right here. This is base beats.
Back.
Hi, welcome back. Everyone knows about base beats, but there's also rock beats and rap beats. Rock and rap are basically forms that are used by exclusively Cyan and exclusively Lucinda. Lucinda gets the rock form, whereas Cyan gets the rap form. Rock is a powerhouse. It's tanky. It deals punches. It's really strong. It fucking manipulates fire. At the same time, it's slow. It's clumsy. It's a very clunky suit. Whereas rap is fucking agile. It's comparable to Yami's speed. I don't think I mentioned it last stream, but Yami basically is able to run faster than the eye can detect. So she, in essence, can vanish. I think that's light speed. I'm not sure. She could do it in pretty decent bursts. She can't hold it for very long, but she can do good bursts of her speed. And then Rap Beats is basically comparable to Yami's speed. It was designed specifically to compensate for her. The only downside is that it's a lightweight suit. It can't really take a hit. It's not super physically strong. All it really has is its speed. It's good for like barrage attacking. It's good for like high agility. But if it were to fight against like a brute or something, she'd get her ass kicked. I don't think we have. Yeah. So right now it's just those three forms of bass, rock, and rap. So Lucinda is like, since I can't really develop because when it comes to developing forms for her Beats driver, it just doesn't really work for some reason. So since she can't do that, she decides to start work on another writer system, being the modification system. The modification system was my excuse to make something that has proper Kamen Rider jingles and a proper Kamen Rider gimmick. Bean, I'm a
What?
nerd. I have actually written out these jingles and like all the phrases and whatnot. I think they're cool, but um, basically with it, it's divided up into two parts. You have the modification driver, or not, sorry, three parts, obviously. You have the driver, and then you have a terrain vehicle. I hid my sword. You have a terrain vehicle, and you have fuck. What did I call it? It's a something engine. It's something engine. Uh, oh, cool. I didn't name it anything. I just wrote engines. They're like little engine blocks. So you have terrain vehicles being land, sea, and sky. Land is a little sports car. Sea is, I believe it's a little submarine. Ah, it's just a boat. Okay. Sea is a boat, and sky is a jet. And then with the engines, the cross engines! Haha, there they are! The cross engines! X engines! Okay. I have to point out, anytime I say cross mods, it's explicitly with an X, so it's X dash MODS. Anything cross mods related, if I ever say cross, it is an X. It is literally a cross. So if you ever see it spelled out, it's going to be written as X mods or X engines, but it's pronounced cross. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the terrain vehicles and the cross engines. Terrain vehicles, again, land, sea, and sky. You have a car, a boat, and a jet. And then with the cross engines, you have throttle, muscle, and trick. These are basically designed to mix and match. They do have a direct match. Land goes with throttle, sea goes with muscle, and sky goes with trick. With the jingles, I even reference that of like they have a complete jingle, but if you mix them, they kind of sound a wee bit wonky. They still work together, but it doesn't fit with like vocal tones. Whereas if you have them matching, it's like nice and concise. It's all one tone, or not one tone, but like one sort of theme. Um, Unless people absolutely beg me to do it, I'm not gonna sing it. But just know that like you have that's how the modification system works. In essence, it takes three forms and turns it into nine, because I think that's the same amount of gimmicks that Double had to start with, and I think he had nine total forms. So you can basically have like land muscle, sky throttle, sea trick, sea throttle. Like there's a whole bunch of combinations that you can do with it. Lucinda wanted to make this because she wanted it's a heckin' engine. um, Lucinda wanted to make this because she wanted to make a rider that was designed to be versatile, something that can just adapt to things on the fly. So she developed the modification system. With it, she also created a car called the Cross Modifier. Um, yes, I think it's the name of the car. She developed the car, which is based off of a Corvette C8, called the Cross Modifier. It is designed to work alongside the modification system. Basically, inside on the dashboard, it has a whole bunch of these switches that can be flipped, and they are labeled with the different terrains and the different engines. If you were to flip a land throttle, the car would go into like streamlined, like sports car. I think it's fucking fast. If you were to swap throttle and trick, it would turn into like this off-road buggy type of thing. If you were to set it to sea muscle, it would turn into a submarine. Um, it basically has like this whole console that is designed to work alongside it. Um, Meanwhile, Yami is doing her own thing. Yami has something she's doing in this. Um, so, as we covered in the prologue, Lucinda's home got destroyed. And then in Act 1, Lucinda and Cyan basically save Yami. Yami is dealing with a bit of brain problems. She is trying to sort of regain herself, but she is not all together. She goes from Lucinda's personality to being a bit bipolar and extremely ADHD. Um, when she has her emotions, she like goes into the extremes of them. So she'll be like the extreme happy, extreme anger, extreme sadness. Um, Typically, she's peppy and cheery, but she does have moments. So, being a Lucinda, she obviously knew where like she lived. So she snuck out and she went to basically where their home was, um, just to go and explore. Um, she goes back here, and it's a desolate wasteland. It's basically a completely destroyed city. Um, Bean, do you remember Daybreak Town from Zero One?
Yeah,
Like the decrepit city?
so.
Yeah, it's basically like that, just without the lake. Uh,
Uh,
yeah. So she heads there, and like the whole place is abandoned. They aren't even trying to rebuild it. Everyone just fled. Um, they were either killed or they left. So she heads there, and she finds a, or she goes into Lucinda's shed, and she finds her old robotics project she was working on in the prologue. Um, in the actual story, I do touch on it a little more in the prologue to make it more obvious. Um, but basically, what she was doing is she was building a proper, robot, like full on humanoidish robot. Um, Obviously, wasn't complete. She didn't get a chance to finish it because shit exploded. Um, so Yami goes there and she finds this robot and tries to rebuild her. It doesn't go great. It's very cobbled. It's very decrepit. It's horrible, horribly made. But she takes this, she brings it back to Lucinda and is like, "Hey, I made a thing." Lucinda sees it. She gets annoyed with Yami because she just wanted to move on. She didn't want to go back to, reminiscing the past or anything like that. Um, but then she basically has like a realization that she is getting angry with herself. So it's like a fact of like, I did this. There's like obviously a subconscious part of me that would go and do that. And the fact that Yami went and did this means it's something I would end up doing. So she, while is annoyed at first, goes back on that, apologizes, and they end up working to rebuild said robot. That robot being. Where the fuck is it? Uh. Fuck, there it is. That robot being huge. Holy shit, this image is massive.
you could say it's huge.
I did.
Oh, I thought the character's name was huge.
No! No, no, no!
Excuse me then.
That robot being L4. So this is L4. She is kind of humanoid. Um, Humans aren't uncommon in this world. They do exist. They're just kind of few and far between. Um, so she is a bit of a human-looking robot, but she is fully robot. She's not a cyborg. But yeah, that's L4. We got Lucinda rebuilding her. But basically, her and Yami work to fix up this robot and get her fixed, or get her not only fixed, but to a point where, you know, she's at 100%. I would also like to point out, Bean, you weren't here for this, but I would also, oops, shit, I'm moving something. Yum.
What?
I also want to point out, because I touched on this in the beginning, but here we have Dual Dragon. This is a poster for Dual Dragon. I mentioned Dual Dragon before, but this is something that's going to keep coming up throughout all the stories. Again, prologue, Dual Dragon at a concert gets attacked. One of them gets killed, the other one goes missing. In Act 1, Tiana references the fact that Dual Dragon is her favorite band. And then in any sort of like workshop environment or any like home environment for Lucinda, I always try and put a Dual Dragon poster in, just to be like, hey, here's a reference to this thing. I really love the poster for Dual Dragon because it went for like a yin and yang type of thing. But there's Dual Dragon. There's even a reference to Dual Dragon. I'm telling you, I shoehorn this into places. There is a reference to Dual Dragon in the first page of the Flowering Games. Hang on. No, sorry, not the first page, the fifth page. Fifth page of the Flowering Games, right? Fucking massive ass images, Jesus. Hi, Abigail. We'll talk about Abigail in another stream. We're not going to address her at all in the Project Beat streams. But Dual Dragon, right? Right there. I always try and shoehorn in a Dual Dragon poster like wherever I can. So this is a thing that exists and is very important to Project Beats, but I am never going to address it until Act 4. I hit my pointer again. Oh god. There it is. Alright. So yeah. It's nice. It is nice. I like it. So yeah. Lucinda and Yami rebuild L4. Initially she was this cobbled together mess. But her and Yami were able to use, proper materials and technologies to just, build her to be a legit robot. And then Lucinda basically programs the cross-mod system to work with L4. Because of this, L4 has detachable limbs that can be swapped out for things. You can see the plug system right there. Basically, she's able to have limbs removed and swapped for, depending on what the need requires. Again, designed to work with the modification system. After that, they head to... Wow, this is really handy, the fact that I have all of this typed out over here. After that, they head off to the forest where where Akumu went. They head over into this area because Akumu went this way to find things, and they end up coming across this tree here. This important tree that I was saying was going to be important. They end up coming to this tree, and they're able to get past the bubble that's there, although Cyan does notice something odd when they try to pass through because there is resistance from her, but not from anyone else. I think Yami gets stuck outside, like she is physically not able to pass through the bubble. But they end up going in, and they go to this tree, which has basically been carved out to be like a whole home. And now, this tree is fucking huge. It's big enough to be used as like a proper house, like a 2-story house. It doesn't really have like a lot of rooms. Like there's the downstairs area, which is all one thing. It's got like a separated off kitchen space. But it's got like one downstairs area, then it goes upstairs into a living space, but like a bedroom space. So it's not like World Tree size like Teardrasil. I know you know what that is, Bean.
Hmm.
It's not that big, but at the same time, it's definitely not a small tree. Um, so basically, they go into this tree and they come up on Sai, Sai. Uh, from here on out, I have to refer to Cyan as Cyan and Sai as Sai because um, Lucinda will refer to Cyan as Sai, C-Y, but Sai being introduced makes this confusing. So, they come up on Sai, who is this combination like coyote, lizard. Again, she's like 90% coyote, 10% lizard. Um, she is small. She is very small. Bean, do you remember the canon height for her?
Hmm.
Isn't it? You know who I'm talking about.
She's like my EV size.
Isn't she like 4'5"?
Sh- I don't know. I
I
just know that she's like my EV.
she's fucking tiny.
She's small like me.
She's very small. Um, but she basically is what's known as a guardian. She has been. I'm going to apologize preemptively because throughout this story it's all been like clear and concise, but now we're gonna get into some weird shit, and I'm just like, I wrote this, and even I'm just sitting here like, why did I write this, and why do I not want to change it? So, Sai is an elemental guardian. She was tasked by the goddess Gaia to guard or basically maintain the elements. Um, there are these elemental gems in this world. They are only important in Act 2 for Project Beats, just because Project Beats is so busy that it doesn't really have time to address them outside of Act 2. However, they become more important in a little bit of Ignition Drive and a lot of Fall of Kuto. They are extremely important in Fall of Kuto. Um, Odds are they're going to be a little more important in Menrai Special Crimes Division or Charge and Go. I haven't decided which one yet. It's most likely it's going to be Charge and Go where they're more important. Um, but it's there are these like elemental gems that existed in this world. Odds are or yeah, they're gonna end up being used in other stories as well. They're not just limited to this saga. So even when we start branching on out into other parts of this world outside of the fucking Fall of Kuto saga, they're still gonna be a relevant thing. They're still gonna be important and whatnot. Um, the again, Project Beats is gonna be full of like this is the most important thing that isn't important to Project Beats. Only because of the way it's fucking written. God damn it. Okay. With it, we have 10 separate gems. We have fire, water, earth, air, life, death, light, dark, electricity, or lightning, depending on what time frame you're living in. And I always make that specification, even though I could very easily just say electricity. Electricity or lightning, depending on what time frame you're living in, and a rainbow gem, which basically is able to utilize all of them. Conveniently, I might have this that I can add images, add source, add new source. I might be able to quickly add this, and I hope I can quickly add this. Oh, yep, there it is. I was talking with an artist and she made this for me, and I love this image still. It's not finished, and I don't think it'll ever be finished, but this was meant to be a sort of like poster for the world. Each of these crystals in the vines were gonna have a different icon in it depending on the story. Like there was gonna be the music notes for Project Beats, there was gonna be a stalk of lavender and one for Flowering Games. This was made before Ignition Drive, so Ignition Drive unfortunately didn't make it into this. But one was going to have the charge and go icons, and one was going to have the Kamen Rider Shred icon, which important to Men Rise Special Crimes Division. But on the outside, you can see the different elemental gems, as well as the rainbow one in the middle. Again, color-coded for each element: fire, water, earth, air, life, death, light, dark, electricity, or lightning, depending on what timeline you're in. But yeah, I fucking love this image. Oops. So yeah, Sai basically introduces us to that. Sai conveniently has this little cutout on her forehead. She's able to put a gem inside of that, and she can basically channel that element. The only one she doesn't use ever is death, and that's because if you ever come into contact with a death gem, it will suck out your soul, and you will turn into a lich, which is basically just an undead fucking monster. So yeah, don't touch a death gem. You can touch everything else, but you can't touch the death gems.
I touched a death gem and a new evolution unlocks the ghost type.
Insert coin here. Sorry,
That's
what
how
were
we
you
get
saying?
the ghost type.
Two ghost types. So you're saying I should shove a death gem up your ass?
Why my ass? Why is everyone to stuff an Evo up? Why?
I mean, where else do you put it?
I can touch it. I just put it in my hand and I turn.
But that's not
No.
inside of you. It's got to go in your ass. I'm telling
Feels
you,
like
we
just-
got to get you them elemental butt plugs.
My God. God.
The anal beads of just like, depending on how, which one.
Oh my gosh! Harm! Don't give him ideas!
You're saying that, but Cell gave me that idea.
I didn't even see.
Anyways, as I was,
I'm upset.
where was I going? Oh yeah, Yele, fucking insert coin here hole. You've just given me a hilarious idea for an image of just like Lucinda going up to Sai and then putting a quarter in the fucking gem slot.
Lucinda, that's the wrong coin slot. I meant something else.
Just It's not even, it's just like an indent on her head that is perfectly shaped for the gems. It's just fucking coin slot. Oh my gods. Anyways, so they meet Sai and in turn learn about. I say they learn about the gems, but they learn visually. Sai extremely pushy. They are confused as to how Lucinda and KC found this place. And B starts trying to force Lucinda or force everyone to leave. Conveniently, fuck, I just noticed in these notes there's reference to Melody. Oh shit, that means Melody's already been introduced. Oh gods, when was Melody introduced? Okay,
Shoddy like a belly in my head.
I just want to point out real quick for you, Bean.
Yeah.
I was working off of memory last stream. I didn't have notes. I have notes now, and
No, every day.
hey. Okay.
I'm not stuck in replay.
Okay. So, Melody is a bounty hunter because the Melody is about to become important. She wasn't super important, or they weren't super important. That's a spoiler. You didn't hear me. Did you mess up on your own lore? I have a couple times. I went back and I rewatched that VOD and I was like, fuck, that's not what happened.
Still got some kinks to work out.
Kinky.
Exactly.
Okay. Melody gets introduced in Act 1, roughly around when Lucinda dies. Roughly around when Lucinda dies. It might be a little before that. But she is a they are a bounty hunter. I keep saying she, even though fucking. They are a bounty hunter that Akumu employs. Um, she gives them a transformation device, being a wrist brace and an MP3 player, and that's what they use to turn into Melody. Um, they're basically on the side of Akumu, quote unquote. They're not fully with Akumu. Um, it's just kind of like they're being paid by Akumu to fight Lucinda. Um, so uh, they end up fighting with Lucinda in the group a fair bit, but they aren't super important in Act 1. They show up a bit more in Act 2, but everything gets fully revealed in Act 3, I believe. Or Act 3? Not Act 3. Sorry, Act 4. Nothing gets revealed in Act 3. God, I can't wait to get to Act 3! Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Sai. Because now you know who Melody is. She's a bounty hunter that works for Akumu. That's all that really needs to be known about her right now. She gets employed in Act 1 and carries from there. So, Akumu? Or, sorry, Akumu. Sai is very pushy to get Lucinda and everyone to leave. She doesn't like that they're here. She doesn't like that they found her. Um, and she's just trying to be like, hey, this is shit that you aren't allowed to be messing with. You need to fucking go, or I'm just gonna use lethal force on your ass. That's when Akumu, Melody. Fuck, Crimson was also introduced. Okay, Crimson is a replacement for Cyan as a perfect age. Again, they get introduced in Act 1. They fight against her a fair bit. Crimson is technically immortal. She keeps coming back like a phoenix. Every time Lucinda kills her, she basically revives herself and they run off and then they come back and they fight. So, that's who Crimson is. Fuck.
Good job.
Okay, we now know who Crimson and Melody are, because I forgot to include them in the Act 1 video. So, Akumu, Melody, and Crimson show up to the tree, because that's what they've been looking for. That's the thing that they heard about. Um, Akumu basically orders Melody and Crimson to attack them, like as Sai was escorting them out. Akumu orders Melody to attack them, so they all get to a fight. Akumu and Lucinda fight each other. Melody gets lumped in with KC, and Yami is left with Crimson. That or pairing will make sense eventually. Yeah. So each of the beats forms. So the thing with the elements is they're always going to be a reoccurring theme. In each of my stories, there is always some form of reference to this theme. With Project Beats, Beats has rock beats, which is attuned with fire. DJ has metal DJ, so like the metal music, which is attuned to earth. Melody has an unnamed water form, and a Negabeats has a classical form, which has to do with air. So each one of these has like an elemental aspect to them. In flowering games, it's not as apparent. However, with each of the forms, there is, or with each of the characters, there is an aspect of that to link them, or there's an aspect of them that will link them back to the elemental gems. Same deal with ignition drive. Same deal with charge and go. Like fucking charge can use electricity powers. The only one where this isn't really a case is Cloudbreakers and Menrai Special Crimes Division. That's because Special Crimes Division introduces a thing unique to its own. On top of that, she gets like her own weapons. Like she has weapons that she swaps out that do different things. They don't really have an elemental aspect to it. So, they fight Akumu and whatnot, but Akumu gets a chance to basically swipe some of Sai's gems. Um, it's not really get said what these are. It's just like kind of an assortment of them. Um, so she takes them and runs. Um, that's when we get introduced to the elementals. um, so after Sai learned that she had gems stolen, or as Sai realized she has gems stolen, she explains things to the group and introduces the elementals. There are 4 elementals, and each one of them has their own sort of traits. We have Ember, who I do have an image of. I don't have an image of anyone else, but I have an image of Ember because it's a fucking sick ass image. Shit. Let's try that again. Add source. Browse. So we have Ember, who I would say is probably the more important of the elementals. Um, what the fuck? Okay, now it's working. If for some reason it kept going behind the image, even though it was on top. So we have Ember, who is the fire elemental. She also has access to the element of death, but she doesn't ever use it because it's fucking dangerous as shit. But she is primarily a fire elemental. We have Aero, who is spelled like aerodynamics, Aero. He has access to air and light. Why do I feel like this isn't working correctly? Why is my brain not working right? Air, light, water, electricity, earth, life, fire, death. Ha! No one has dark. That's hilarious. I didn't give anyone dark. Um, so we have Ember, who uses fire and death. We have Aero, who has air and light. We have Marine, who uses water and electricity. And we have Quake, who uses earth and life. Important detail I want to note because it's funny. Ember, Aero, and Marine have like some kind of armor they're wearing. Quake is just buck naked. He's just buck naked the entire time. My guy is like a druid through and through. He is just completely naked with the elements, is like, I am attuned with life. I have everything on display. Um, so Sai introduces them, and but yeah, Sai introduces them and explains how she is an elemental guardian. She is basically in charge of protecting the gems and the elementals, along with her brother, who ended up getting banished. Um, Basically, the story with her brother is he was basically an evil asshole who wanted um, basically all the power to himself. Um, while trying to learn like just the limits of the gems. Um, he basically goes in disguise. He gets some shavings of a fire gem and he adds it to this girl's soup. So it's like a soup or a sandwich. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but that's not important. Um, so he's an asshole. He uses a fire gem to essentially kill a girl. Um, if you were to ingest any bit of an elemental gem, your body would get overloaded with that elemental power. For example, the girl that he ended up killing, she ate part of the fire gem. She spontaneously combusted and burned to death. As a result, she was met by Gaia, who is the world goddess. Every time I bring Gaia into this, I'm just like, oh god, this is what I wrote. Okay. Um, so, uh, basically after dying, she met, or she was approached by Gaia, who's the goddess, who was just like, yeah, you weren't supposed to die. Why was she eating rocks? She wasn't eating rocks. It was fucking Sai's brother Xander. Xander put fucking shavings of an elemental gem inside her food. She didn't intentionally eat rocks. It was just a case of like she accidentally ate it because she was poisoned, basically.
Rockets.
It's like, why are you eating cyanide? It's because it's in my almonds. Um, she didn't intentionally do it. She just did it because it was forced on her. Anyways, girl gets approached by Gaia. Gaia is like, yeah, you weren't supposed to die. Um, but I do have another offer for you. Essentially, with the fire elemental, they have to keep rotating it out because of how chaotic and deadly it is. So every 4 years, they rotate out who the active elemental is for fire. Um, I forgot what his name was, but the current elemental at the time, he was coming up to the end of his line, and this girl needed, or Gaia wanted to give this girl another chance. So what she did is she resurrected her as Ember, who is the elemental of fire. Um, so yeah, this girl that Xander ended up killing ended up replacing the current standing elemental. We'll get more on Xander later, just not in Project Beats. Um, Sai basically has them back to Sai in the group, or Lucinda in the group. Um, Sai believes it's partially Lucinda's fault for Akumu stealing some of the gems because it's like, hey, there are these outsiders at my fucking house and they stole my magic shits. You need to get my magic shits back because this is your fault. Um, so, um, they go out and they basically look for Akumu. They search, they hunt Akumu down. Um, they get fights. However, Sai ends up getting captured. Um, Akumu has like a full intent to turn Sai into an Aegis, which she ends up doing. Uh, Sai essentially gets basically partially brain damage, not as brain damage as Yami, but she basically gets fucked up and turned into an Aegis. What powers was she given? I think it was just elemental powers. Uh, yeah, it's just elemental powers, and unlike a normal Aegis, she gets treated like Yami and doesn't end up getting disfigured. So she still looks the same, but she has like black stains on her. They fight and she beats Lucinda. The only reason why Sai wins against Lucinda is because Lucinda doesn't want to kill Sai. Um, she knows like what Sai is doing, or she understands what Sai is doing, and she isn't gonna be like, yeah, I just killed the Earth's, or I just killed like Kuto's protector. I am not gonna do that. Um, because of this, Lucinda ends up getting captured by Akumu, and Sai ends up slipping out and taking over Sai. So Cyan is currently possessing Sai. Where is my Cyan image? Is it this one? Nope, that's KC. There it is. Uh, so Cyan is currently possessing Sai, while Lucinda is captured and strapped down. Now. Okay. So it was spicy salt. Yes, it was spicy salt. Um, so Cyan takes Sai and the others and goes and they escape, while Lucinda is being held captive by Akumu. Akumu straps her down to turn her into an Aegis, and Akumu is cackling because it's like, I fucking won, and I am going to fucking kill Lucinda with this. I am going to overdo my Aegis thing so hard that Lucinda basically completely dissolves and I never have to fucking deal with her again. The thing is, Akumu got overly cocky. So because Lucinda at this point is back to, or is an audiomorph because that happened in Act 1, her music is constantly playing and Akumu can't focus. So she's like, I can't deal with this. And she swipes Lucinda's phone, she pauses her music and throws it aside. Yeah, that was the issue. That was not a smart thing for her to do because Lucinda ended up vanishing. Akumu is like, what? Um, Lucinda's restraints basically fall off, so she's not strapped down anymore. They just kind of like fall to the side, and Akuma's just sitting there like, excuse me, what just happened? Because Lucinda vanished. So she grabs Lucinda's phone, unpauses the music, only for Lucinda to reappear, kicks fucking Akumu, grabs her gear, and books it. So Akumu had almost successfully defeated Lucinda if it wasn't for the fact that she is an audiomorph. Yes, I do make sure she uses this ability of being able to fucking vanish. Um, I don't want to go too into detail right now because it's important for later. But essentially, Lucinda gets imprisoned because she was framed, and Lucinda was like, "Fuck this!" Pauses her music, she pauses her music while throwing her phone to the other side of the bars, and Cyan slips through, unpauses her music, and Lucinda reappears on the other side of the bars. So they essentially jailbreak by just being like, fuck it, I don't want to be here anymore. Anyways. So they go back to Sai's base. Cyan lingers inside of Sai just to try and repair any damage Akumu did to her brain. Akumu. Well, okay, yeah. Akumu and Cyan can kind of fuck with people's minds. Akumu does it for negative reasons. Cyan does it to try and like bring them back to normal. So Cyan is there trying to fix it. Ember is like, she comes up, she's worried about everything. She has an ability, she has the ability to basically put out her fires, where she can like actually go inside. Um, all of the elementals sort of have a disguise they can don. Ember goes back into her old self, however, she is like charred. Or not charred, but like her fur is black instead of white like it used to be. Um, so Ember goes into this like disguised form, comes in, she's worried about Sai because, her and Sai were close. Sai Yeah, Sai for fucking sorry, brain. Lucinda explains that, Sai was turned into an Aegis and Cyan needs to like stay inside of her to try and fix everything. Um like they explain everything that happened to Ember and Ember's like, "All right, we'll chill out here. We'll leave her to be or we'll leave her be. Let her do her thing." Um yeah. think I can pause there for a moment if people have questions. Or if there's anything I need to explain better, or any like that. Bean,
Squeak.
do you have questions?
No,
You're not paying attention, are you?
not too much.
I knew it.
I'm just here.
You're here listening to the rambling.
Yay.
Well, you're not listening if you're not paying attention.
Huh?
I said you're not listening if you're not paying attention. God damn it. I gotta do these solo if you're not gonna be. Does chat have any questions? I see we got 3 people here. Any questions from chat before I can move on? Because I was just rambling for like, what, an hour? Roughly?
Yeah, that's been an hour. Maybe a little more.
So, Act 2, I'm going to say this. Act 2 is messy. Act 2 is hard for me to describe. I'm not a fan of how Act 2 came out, and it needs a massive rework. There's a lot I like about Act 2, but there's a lot more that I don't like. Like, I want to keep the elemental gems thing. The Act 2 was my way of getting the gems introduced, and I wanted to make like a full story around it, because like if I just have it as a one-off thing in Project Beats, it's gonna be very much like a, why is this something that shows up randomly? Why is there just for one chapter a bunch of magic for some reason? So I dedicated an entire act of Project Beats to just being like, here's more setting of the world, here's more world building. I just didn't do it good. It's not great. At least I don't think it's great. Tigress said hydrate. I'm gonna hydrate.
Fuck. Fuck. Fuck.
You don't
My
have
cups
water,
are
do you?
empty.
Ha!
No, I just drank it.
Go get some water. You gotta hydrate.
What if I just gargle in my mouth and wait? I'm not a Vaporeon. Fuck. Where's my water stone? Now I know where my water stone is. You're a thief.
I know.
Be right back.
Okay. Alright. Are you guys ready for me to continue? Because this is where things happen. More things are happening here. This is where we get the proper introduction of Spectra that I accidentally explained way too soon. No one's responding. I'm going to end up assuming you guys are ready, and I can just continue. So. Ember basically shows up while Sai is trying to fix. While Cyan is trying to fix Sai. I'm going to have a hard time with that. I'm sorry. I am not changing their names. I'm thematically. I can be referring to Cyan as something else, but I can't because that's not something anyone knows yet. So I have to be calling her Cyan. And Sai is a name that I just don't want to change. I like that name for her. It's very cute. It's very fitting for her. So, Ember, like, after they explain everything to Ember, Ember's worried for a moment, but then she remembers, like, there have been pulses of this, like, demonic energy showing up. It's not something they have any reason to worry about. But it's basically these pulses of just, like, demon energy. Demons and shit. So after Ember tells them this, Lucinda, L4, yeah, Lucinda and L4 head out. They leave Casey and Yami there to sort of guard Sai, just to sort of protect her. Lucinda, L4, and Ember, they head out to go and find the source. While they're looking, they get assaulted by bandits, a hooded cat, and a purple wolf. Um, the cat has like a mechanical arm. These two being Spectra and Geki. L4 goes to like engage with them. She goes to fight them. But Spectra slips in and she swipes land throttle and the modification driver from her. Yeah, she swaps those from L4 because she's been watching L4 turn into cross mods. With it, she uses it to transform herself into cross mods and throw out just wild, just random accusations that Lucinda is the one that killed her sister. Lucinda killed her family. Lucinda doesn't know anything that they're talking about. So Lucinda transforms into Beats to try and defend herself, just to be like, I don't understand anything. Spectra, very angry, fights more and more against Lucinda, and eventually gets the upper hand over Lucinda. And fuck, my brain stalled. Shit. Brain. Okay. Lucinda and Spectra fight each other. Spectra ends up getting the upper hand against Lucinda, throwing Lucinda out of suit. As a result, Spectra ends up seeing Lucinda and is like, holy fuck, that's my sister. They desuit. Maria takes off her, or Spectra takes off her hood, and it's revealed that it's actually just Maria. I have not been using my puppets as much as I usually do, and I apologize for that. I just don't have a lot of images I can use for part 2, or act 2. But yeah, this is when we get introduced to Maria and Geki. This is when they properly become part of the story. The two of them sit there. They're not sure how to process things, and Geki drives in with her truck, swipes Maria, and they drive off. Then they're just like, Lucinda's just like, fuck trying to look into this demon energy. You said it's not important right now, Ember. So we're gonna go after these people because this is they stole something from me. Like she uses that excuse. So Lucinda, L4, and Ember, they go and I believe they pile into the cross modifier because it's the three of them. And they drive off to go and chase after Geki and Maria. And now we get into the proper start of everything. This is where things get less messy and a little more coherent. Okay. So, again, Cyan is trapped inside of, not trapped inside. Cyan is inside of Sai's head to fix her brain damage. Maria and Geki are running away from Lucinda, L4, and Ember. Casey and Yami are at Sai's tree. And Akuma is fucking around doing Akuma things with elemental gems included. So, L4 or Lucinda, L4, and Ember track down Lucinda and Geki to this crater here. They find them parked outside this crater. This is the same crater that used to be Tolden. I'm starting to fall apart. I'm sorry, chat. I like Act 2, but it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. And it's something I'm still passively working on. But yeah. They find Maria and Geki inside this crater, and Lucinda like goes and jumps down the crater to go find them. Or not find them. She gives L4 her driver, her Beats driver, and like she's basically like she doesn't want to argue or fight Maria, so she leaves her equipment with L4. So Lucinda goes down into this crater. She approaches Maria and Geki and is like trying to just get explanations. She's like, I'm not here to fight. I just want to talk with you. Like, it's been fucking years. I need to know that I'm talking to the right person. I need to know that I'm not going crazy. They're both having this, like a similar reaction to each other. Maria tries to fight back or argue back. Maria is still confused. She doesn't know how to process Lucinda being alive. That is when a purple rift tears open inside this crater, and out steps Evelyn. Her introduction is very sudden. It's very random, very intentionally. Evelyn just kind of shows up and looks over at Lucinda, Maria, and Geki. The three of them are like, okay, that's new. That's interesting. Lucinda starts to go up to Evelyn, and before she gets a chance to say anything, Evelyn is like, you should leave if you want to live. That's when like a purple energy starts to crackle around her. She starts to lift up into the air. Maria and Geki scrambling to get into their truck, while Lucinda and L4, or Lucinda and the others go back into the cross modifier. I have it written as Lucinda's bike, but the cross modifier makes more sense. So I have to keep telling my brain it's not her bike, it's her car, because there's 3 people here, and one of them is a giant fucking robot that is probably going to throw a bike out of stabilization. So, as Evelyn is lifting up into the air, these purple crystals start to like sprout from the ground. This purple energy just keeps on crackling around them. The ground just starts to break and crack and throughout this crater, just kind of radiating around Evelyn. And this just like this purple energy just starts building up around her. They managed to get out of the crater, only for Evelyn to unleash this big fucking blast of energy that just rips through like a good chunk of this land here. If you were to go there now, there's like a scar through here. But there's just this blast of energy that just rips through here. It barely misses them. They're able to drive away from it. They're able to escape it. The blast itself was aimed at Ember, but Ember they managed to dodge it because, you know, Ember's with them, and I'm not killing them. Yeah, purple crystal sprouts from the ground as it's like tears through it. So there's this like wave of crystals on either side of this crack. They start trying to escape Evelyn. Evelyn is just throwing these crystals at them to try and, kill them. She's just lobbing these crystals.
Got it.
Hi. I didn't know you were
Hi.
back. I'm struggling, as you can tell. I like it. It's just, it has problems. There are a lot of problems I need to fix. I'm also having a hard time explaining it right now for some reason. But yeah. I think part of it is because I keep cross-referencing notes and I'm just like, fuck, how do I explain all this? Okay. Closing eyes. So yeah, Evelyn attacks the lot of them as they're trying to escape. She's just firing these like crystals and blasts of energy, mostly aimed at Ember. Some of it is aimed at Maria and Lucinda, just to be like, you're fucking helping her escape. They drive back to Sai's, hideout or Sai's tree. And they head back to the Sai's tree to lose Evelyn. Yeah, they head back to Sai's tree to gather everyone up. They go there and are like, hey, we're being chased by this evil bitch. Cyan, during that process, was able to bring Sai back to normality. So she isn't as fucked up as Yami is. Meanwhile, Maria, very distracted by Yami. Yami, again, possessed by Akumu, is basically used to kill Lucinda, her and Lucinda's family, as well as cut off Maria's arm and cut off Lucinda's feet, making them both think that each other were dead. I think this stream we're only going to cover Act 2, because holy fucking shit. I don't think I mentally can do Act 3. So, they get everyone together. They group everyone up, only for Evelyn to show up and completely destroy Sai's tree. So this tree ends up getting completely nuked by Evelyn. The elementals end up being safe because they don't actually hide out in this tree. It's just Sai that lives there, or at least lived there. So Lucinda, or the group, takes Sai to ground, where they hide out in, where they basically end up, or where Sai basically ends up explaining who Evelyn is, telling them that Evelyn is a demon queen and is... Why is my brain stalling so much trying to explain this? I'm getting a headache trying to explain this.
Oh my goodness.
Do you understand how much work Act 2 needs now? Act 2 needs a lot of fucking work. I'm getting a headache. And I'm not bringing anything on screen. I know you guys could use a visual to help with all this. It doesn't help that my jaw is getting tight trying to explain this. making like talking harder. I have water with me, but like it's getting hard for me to speak. Like I keep taking sips of water. I think Act 1 was so much easier because Act 1 is so much more complete. Because Act 1, Act 3, and Act 4 are super complete. It's Act 2 that isn't. Act 2 is the biggest problem, but I have to get through it in order to get to the other parts. Okay. So. Rereading notes. Okay. So Sai basically explains who Evelyn is. Could take the moment to brainstorm a little of the unfinished bits of this act. That's the thing, is it's quote unquote finished. It's just bad and it needs to be reworked. I do want to take at some point a moment just to rethink Act 2. It's just right now I want to get it out. I want to get it out of my brain so that I can have a video I can cross-reference and I can have things I can go back to be like, okay, I can change this to be like this, I can change this to be like that. Right now, I just want to get the story out, if that makes sense. So yeah. Sai explains who Evelyn is. Evelyn being a goddess of, or a queen, the queen of the underworld, as well as the goddess of fate. She is basically this demon queen who came to the surface because she saw a vision of Kuto burning, getting completely destroyed. So that's why Evelyn is on the surface. While they're up there, Sai explains a bit more on, yeah, Sai explains a little bit more on Xander and how Evelyn was created. Meanwhile, Akumu, after hearing about what Evelyn did, Akumu basically tracks her down, tries to team up with Evelyn. Evelyn indulges in her for a moment. Akumu's just there, like, trying to sweet talk her, trying to be, like, kind of seductive with her tone. And Evelyn is like, she starts leading in on it, only to fight against, or fight back against Akumu, lashing out on her, dealing a huge blow to Akumu, coming very close to killing her. And Akumu fucking dips. Evelyn has no interest in siding with anyone. Evelyn is here to do her own thing. She's going to be doing it on her own. And anyone who tries to help her gets fucking murked. So we cut back to that, to Lucinda. And Lucinda's trying to come up with an upgrade. She's trying to figure out just a way to fight back against Evelyn. She's getting help from, like, Ember. She's getting help from Sai. Just so, like, she can piece together just any kind of upgrade to help fight back against Evelyn. That's when Akumu shows up. And, of course, they don't know about this fight Akumu had. Akumu shows up and is like, hey, let me help you. All right. We both have an enemy in this. Evelyn is trying to blow up the world, and I am trying to take over the world. I can't take over a world if the world doesn't exist. Little spoiler, she's not actually trying to take over the world. Well, okay. She is trying to take over the world very temporarily, but as far as the Beats Quartet should know, she's just trying to take over the world. So Akuma's like, hey, how about I help with this instead? And everyone is just like, get the fuck out of here. We hate you. Go die in a fucking hole. Except for Cyan. Um, Cyan couldn't really figure it out why, but she basically was like, we need to work with Akumu. I know she's our enemy, but if we're gonna fight against Evelyn, we're gonna need Akumu's help. Um, Akumu never mentioned it, but Akumu is still massively injured. She didn't stop to take anyone's soul. She, after being attacked by Evelyn, went straight to Lucinda. Um, there isn't a risk of her vanishing like there was at the beginning of Project Beats with Cyan. Um, but basically, she's injured. She's hurt. Cyan sees this, or Cyan knows this, but not anyone else can really know this because they don't really understand souls. Um, Casey, really pissed off with Cyan, is like, are you fucking serious? This is the bitch that tried to kill all of us? No. But Lucinda is like, you know what? I don't trust Akumu, but I trust Cyan. And if Cyan is saying to do this, then fuck it, we're gonna do this. uh, so Lucinda and Akumu, they start to work together. Um, obviously Cyan's watching over. They're obviously everyone is on fucking edge because Akumu is in their fucking base working on an upgrade for Lucinda. So they basically get to work on making an upgrade. And this is going to be an upgrade designed for the Beats drivers as well as Yami's driver. Yami's driver is a mirror image of the Beats driver, so it looks exactly the same, it's just flipped. They're basically working on creating an amplifier. This is going to be an amplifier that gets plugged into their driver and completely just boosts their strengths, makes them stronger. They take their skills from a 10 and turn it up to 11. That's what the amplifier does. I have actually started working on a song for this. Funny enough, I have lyrics for it written down. But yeah, that's basically what what Lucinda and Akumu end up doing. So they make this amplifier. After it's completed, they head out to go and fight against Evelyn to try and like deal with her permanently so that she's never a problem again. And when they transform, they use the amplifier to turn into amplified beats and amplified DJ. Yami stays out of it because they only make two. They only make one for Lucinda and one for KC. The downside, however, is amplified. While yes, increases them to an extreme degree. The amplifier itself is a bit. If you've watched Kamen Rider Build, it's like the hazard trigger. Do you remember the hazard trigger, Bean?
The hazard? Oh, I think so.
Yeah, the thing that created Black Hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the amplifier is like the hazard trigger. It turns them more bestial, more feral, bit more primalistic. When they transform, not only are they getting like these spikier designs, but they're also getting more animalistic designs. Lucinda takes on like these cat claws, like the really sharp, jagged cat claws, but also she gains like dragon wings. That'll be important to come back to in Act 4, but she gets these dragon wings as well as like her cat claws. Whereas Casey, most of her upgrade is with her tail. I don't remember. I haven't fully finished it. I'm debating giving her like wolf fangs. Um, but yeah, she has like some snake bits added to her. She's got like wolf details as well. Her tail is like heavily modified, and they go fucking insane. They basically lose themselves almost immediately and just go completely feral on Evelyn. Evelyn fights back against them. She's thrown off guard, and yeah. Evelyn is thrown off guard, but she recovers. She fights back against them. She gets the upper hand. She knocks Casey out of her suit, and throws Lucinda back. Lucinda and Cyan. Fuck. Where was I going? Lucinda gets up. Oh yeah, Lucinda's not thrown out of suit. She gets up to go and fight back against Evelyn again when Akumu stops her. They have her basically like take her suit off. So she desuits in front of Evelyn, and Akumu is just like, "Hey, you guys aren't killers. You guys wouldn't even harm a fucking fly. Me, I am a murderous psychopath. Alright? I can handle this." So they basically, Akumu has the idea of like, let's swap Cyan out for myself, and we'll see how this goes. Hesitant at first, Cyan ends up leaving. She goes into Casey, and Akumu enters Lucinda. So they end up having a team up. They transform again. Akumu ends up taking full control and is not in complete control. She goes insane, but she is more conscious. It's more scary to fight against Lucinda and Akumu in amplified beats than it is to fight against Lucinda and Cyan in amplified beats. Akumu has full control over the form. She can consciously do things. She hasn't gone completely feral. She doesn't go completely feral, but she goes fucking sadistic. She starts tearing into Evelyn. Evelyn does not get a chance to fight back. Anytime she tries, Akumu just completely wipes her out. Evelyn, realizing she's beat, like she gets slumped to the ground. She is in pain, very, very close to the edge of death. And something that they should have taken advantage of. But instead what happens, very intentionally, Akumu throws her to the ground on the edge of death. She goes in to deal a killing blow, like a proper "I am going to rip your heart out." That's when Cyan and Casey are like, okay, she is going way too far. If we keep her going, then she's just gonna go fucking insane. They tackle her. They rip off her driver. They forcibly cancel the transformation. And Evelyn, injured, just kind of slips away without them noticing into a rift, just to vanish back into the underworld, and leaving an insane, or not insane, but a recovering Lucinda and Akumu just sitting on the ground. They sort of get up, and Evelyn, Akumu has a moment of like, huh, I'm in Lucinda and you can't stop me. She goes to start trying to be evil, but then Cyan just kind of rips her out and takes her place. Just to be like, no, you're not doing that. This is my body, not yours. This is my host. As they're having a moment of just like, not an unspoken truce, but just like calm after beating Evelyn, since Evelyn was a fucking pain in the ass. A silver rift tears open in front of them, and another Akumu steps out of it. This one completely alive. Oh wait, I skipped a part. An Espeon falls out of it. Sorry. An Espeon falls out of it. She's very panicked. She goes up to Lucinda and is like begging for them to run. She weirdly recognizes Lucinda for a moment, but doesn't like Espeon Pog. It's this Espeon right here. It's this one right there behind my head. Um, she sits there begging Lucinda and the others to run to get to safety. But that's when another rift opens up and a second Akumu steps out behind this
Got
Espeon.
something. Heavy hitter like you needs a little snack,
We're
yeah?
close to wrapping up because my jaw is hurting and I don't want to keep explaining.
No!
I also have to move the jar. Fuck, he paid for it too. Alright, you're gonna have to go in the jar. I'm gonna have to take like 5 minutes to move the jar. Alright. There's a jar in my tits now. Okay. Only because you paid for it. If this wasn't paid for, I would have denied it. But because it was paid for, I am not denying it.
Who the fuck paid for this? No one will
Colonel.
figure out who.
It's always
Oh.
Colonel.
Of course, it's Colonel.
Picking until next lore video. But yeah, Akumu comes out. A second Akumu comes out of this rift. So we are currently left with a random Espeon that came out of nowhere, and 2 fucking Akumus. This is where Project Beats gets fun. I liked Act 2 and I like Act 3 and I like Act 4. Act 1 is great. I love Act 1. But Act 3 and Act 4 are where we start getting batshit insane, and I hope you remembered everything that I've said up until now, because none of it's gonna matter for Act 3. I have to like recover. My jaw is in pain. Fucking Colonel showed up right as I finished Act 2. But yeah, that's the mess that is Act 2. Anyone got any questions for me? If you're gonna ask me to recap the entirety, just go back and rewatch it. Otherwise, you have questions on like any clarity that needs to be done. Because I promise you, I explained this and a lot of this stream wrong. Look, it was Jarbean or Rap Tap Tap. I would have taken Rap Tap Tap. What redeems have happened? Or if any redeems. Oh, Tigers has redeemed Hydrate at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the hydrate already. That's why I had to go 8 off Koi.
Okay. So yeah. Questions? Comments? Concerns? I am going to be ending this stream. This is going to be a really short stream. We might come back later for a WoW stream. We will see. I am not going to confirm anything. I'm just saying maybe. We'll see. Just because this is a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
My jaw is getting tired. And while, yes, I could go and stream something else, I want to take a break. And I don't want to keep going with the lore in this stream. When we come back, or not when we come back, next week when we stream, when we do a lore stream, we will go into Act 3, maybe touch on Act 4. And after that, actually, funny enough, that will be the end of Project Beats after we finished. Insert phony joke for while jaw is tired here. Blame this one. Blame that one. Blame the one in the jar. If I don't know what you did, you were fucking delectable. That's what you did.
I
But yeah. No one's got questions. So yeah, when we pick this up on Tuesday, next Tuesday, we'll go into Act 3. You guys don't need to remember any of this at all. Honestly, I'm going to tell you this much. For Act 2, the only thing you need to remember is the elemental gems, Sai, Xander, and Evelyn. So all of Act 2. Basically, the only thing you need to remember is like the elemental gems, what those do. You need to remember who Xander is. You don't need like a full in-depth, but just know that Xander was an asshole that got banished into the underworld. And remember who Evelyn is, because Evelyn is the overarching villain for this entire fucking saga. Everything. Evelyn is important for fucking everything except Cloudbreakers. Xander is also important, but we'll touch on Xander in a different story. Xander is used somewhere else. But I will not say where or when. But yeah, if no one has any questions, comments, or concerns, I think we're going to wrap this up.
I can be free from the jar.
Yeah, it's a very short-lived jar. I feel bad because this is fucking paid for. That's why I'm just like, fuck, I have to jam him in the jar because someone purchased it. If that was a redeem, I would have rejected it just because we were ending. Because it's purchased, I have to sit here and be like, he's in a jar now.
Fuck you, Colonel.
It was just bad timing, so. Yeah. Fuck. Tired.
Jaws.
Reaching in the bean jar, going for the last pickle spear.
My God. This is my pickle.
No, it's mine now.
Oh.
Help. Help. My face is stuck in the jar. Help. Bean.
Listen, you better get that. Get that. Get out of here. It's my jar. Geet.
I can't. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the jar. My face is stuck. You ever see those videos of like cats when they get their head stuck in the tube of cardboard?
Our breath stinks, guys.
Well, listen. Look up.
Our breath stinks. Oh. Oh.
Anyways, clearly Bean needs to push your face out. There's no way this can go. Bean, they have a good idea. Put your hands on my tongue.
Yeah, no. I know what that tongue can do.
Tongue can do a lot.
It's like a snake.
Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. Next stream tomorrow. We have a Warframe demo. The Warframe 1999 demo comes out tomorrow. My face is stuck in a jar. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, even though you didn't show up on time. Giving you shit. Yeah. Warframe stream tomorrow. The next time we'll touch on lore is going to be next Tuesday, unless I get the energy to bring it back sometime this week on a day that I have available.
I'll admit that I'm cute.
Have 20 months for good measure?
Oh.
Wait. Have you been subbed for 20 months? No. What? You've been subbed for 20 months?
Quite a long
That
time.
doesn't feel... What? That doesn't feel right. Hang on. How long have you been subbed for? I have to look into this now. You've been subbed for 20 months? I can even look into this. Uh. Oh my god, we can change the name of our subscribers. That's awesome. Uh. Subscribe. No. Analytics. Here we go. Excuse me. Oh, I can't see today's because it's... Hang on. Colonel, where the fuck are you? Activity. Here we go. Damn it. Followers list. Where... Sorry, I have to look into this because that doesn't sound... Have you really been subscribed for that long? Colonel. There you are. Oh, I can't, like... How do I look into how long people have been subscribed for? It has been a long time. Really? Fuck. That's almost 2 years.
Shoot fire.
God damn. Long, long ago in a Chili's far, far away. People aren't going to know the Chili's arc.
The Chile orc.
Anyways, I'm going to put my face back in this jar. And I'm
No,
gonna go
get out of here!
one,
Your breath stinks!
no!
No! No!